Coming up on UIWtv, get a look at how the U.S. Congress's American Rescue Plan will assist the San Antonio community interested in experiencing some of the university's fine arts, know what to expect when attending the UIW's theater performance of Little Women, and see how the UIW men's basketball team operates on and off of the court. Sit tight as we dive into these stories and more on UIWtv.
Welcome back to UIWtv. I'm Gabrielle Yanez.
And I'm Savannah Studevos.
We're already in the month of November, which means the semester is wrapping up fast, and Thanksgiving break is just around the corner.
That's right. And all of us here at UIWtv hope to continue to deliver our Cardinal community with the news you need to finish out your semester. Let's get started.
UIW announced in September they are now requiring all employees to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. However, some people in the UIW community are not too happy about this mandate. I had a chance to see what they had to say. With horns honking and poster boards waving, groups of protesters gathered for the third time at the UIW Broadway entrance to voice their disapproval about the vaccine mandate. UIW alumni Virginia Kleinman says employees should be able to choose whether or not to get the vaccine.
There are a lot of questions circling around that cause people to want more information before they make that decision to agree to take this shot. And mandating, forcing it on people is just not right.
The UIW Media and Public Relations Manager, Michael Valdez, says the university has actually received an overwhelmingly positive response to the mandate.
93% of our full-time employees have self-reported that they've been vaccinated. We realize that there's going to be outlier issues, and people can request a waiver for medical issues, personal reasons, for religious issues, and we'll take those on a one-to-one basis.
Kleeman still says she hopes the university will reconsider the policy.
I hope they will pay attention to Governor Abbott's order yesterday that blocks companies in Texas from mandating vaccines to their employees.
The university maintains that the safety of everyone in the UIW community is their #1 priority, and that an employee vaccine mandate is in the best interest of everyone. For UIWtv, I'm Gabrielle Yanez. UIW employees have until November 12, 2021 to comply with the mandate.
Meanwhile, San Antonio will finally be receiving its allocated funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. Reporter Abigail Velez has the full story.
The funds from the American Rescue Plan will finally be dispersed in San Antonio. Approved by the federal government in March of 2021, the plan provides economic relief for Americans, prioritizing vulnerable communities. San Antonio residents have their own ideas of where they would most like to see their funds dispersed.
I think job expansion, since jobs have been cut over the COVID, if you're going to use city funds for these kind of programs, let's hire some employees.
In addition to providing economic assistance to afflicted communities, the whopping $326.9 million city budget will also address a multitude of citywide issues.
So now we're able to, I believe we should be able to focus those funds in areas of critical need.
In an overview provided by the city, the allocation will support the public health response, repair the economic impacts caused by COVID-19, and provide premium pay for essential workers. Citizens are encouraged to share their fund allocation ideas at a series of town hall meetings taking place throughout the month of November. For UIWtv, I'm Abigail Velez.
San Antonians can submit their comments and questions about the act by calling 311 or visiting saspeakup.com. San Antonians can now get up close and personal with jaguars. The San Antonio Zoo has now opened a new immersive realm they're calling Neotropica. The centerpiece is Pantera Walk, a unique catwalk system designed for the zoo's jaguars. The $1.7 million project was funded by donations and offers jaguars 120% more room to roam through other habitats.
People have already discussed some other great ideas to help out a little closer to home. On November 2nd, the American Pharmacy Association invited speaker Emma Faye Rudkin to raise awareness about being more inclusive with the deaf and hard of hearing communities at the Fike School of Pharmacy.
On November 2nd, the American Pharmacy Association invited Emma Faye Rudkin to raise awareness of being more inclusive with the deaf and hearing impaired communities. Emma Faye Rudkin is the executive director and founder of nonprofit organization Aid the Silent. She spoke on her experiences as a deaf individual at the Faye School of Pharmacy.
Just being patient to interact, not understanding maybe they have a disability or they cannot hear. Just to be willing and patient to adapt.
Well, Emma Faye Rudkin's presentation was a combination of both her personal experiences as a hard of hearing member and her nonprofit organization. She more importantly wants UIW students to understand how we can be more inclusive towards the hard of hearing and deaf individuals.
So having ready paper, a pen, being willing to step back and lower your mask for a short time, or using a phone or a device to type.
Aid the Silent is a Texas-based organization located in Boerne, where they provide support and other services for participating families. To learn more about the work Emma and her team does, you can visit their website at www.aidthesilent.com. I am Maria Castillo with UIWtv. Back to you guys.
Speaking of in-person events, it looks like there's a celebration on the horizon. Today is Veterans Day, and UIW is commemorating with a special event. We go to our live reporter, Frank Flores, with more. How's the ceremony going, Frank?
I'm Frank Flores, reporting outside the ballroom here at the Student Engagement Center. It's Veterans Day, and UIW has a long tradition of honoring its students who are veterans or the child of a veteran. Nearly 26% of UIW's student body is comprised of veterans. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. there will be a Veterans Day parade. The starting point will be at the music hall. And if you're a student who is a veteran here at UIW, be sure to use your 10% discount at the bookstore. I'm Frank Flores. Back to you.
Thanks, Frank. We also want to take a moment to thank all of our veterans for their service.
As students gear up for the final 3 weeks of classes, the Event Planning Committee is gearing up for the final stretch of preparations for the Lambda Pi Eta induction ceremony.
HEB somewhere and they'll get back to us.
After having last year's induction ceremony on Zoom, Lambda Pi Eta looks forward to hosting their induction ceremony this year in person for the first time in nearly 2 years.
This year, I believe Lambda Pi Eta will be able to stand on its own.
Although attendants can expect to see the traditional customs of a Lambda Pi Eta induction ceremony, they can expect to see new customs as well.
And next we have Livin' on Love by Alan Jackson.
We spoke with the recently inaugurated Vice President of Lambda Pi Eta, Matthew Flores, to talk about what we can expect from the upcoming ceremony.
This year, as opposed to previous years, it's going to be a little bit longer. We have a full hour this time. We're going to get more videos from students, hopefully going to get more feedback, new faces out there, make it a little more interactive.
Matthew has been working closely with members of the event planning committee to ensure that Lambda Pi Eta's vision is met. We spoke to a member of the event planning committee, Cody Woodward, to discuss what he has noticed differently about Lambda Pi Eta's ambitions this year.
It'll be different because now, more than previous years, there's a greater attention being brought into the group. It's not just going to be an introduction to the Meet the Masters.
Lambda Pi Eta will be inducting 10 new members this semester, a new record for the organization. Information about the Lambda Pi Eta induction ceremony is available in room 295 in the AD building, Mondays and Wednesdays from 1:30 to 2:45. For UIWtv, I'm Benny Resendez.
Thanks, Benny. We can't wait to see how the ceremony turns out.
As well as being the president of Lambda Pi Eta, Benny also represents the entire School of Media and Design as the senator for SGA. He's using his platform to help improve the experience for ComArt students. Joy Bergen has the details on his latest push.
$20 a month. That's how much it costs for students to subscribe to the Adobe Suite, a software that is required for communication arts majors. That amount can add up quickly, and while students can use Adobe for free on school computers, many students don't have access off campus. Senator Benny Resendez, who represents the School of Media and Design on the SGA, says this needs to change.
From discussions I've had with students and faculty, it's been hard on both sides trying to make a fair deadline for students.
He's petitioning for the Adobe Suite to be free to students to use on their personal computers. Zoe Del Rosario, a communication arts student who brought this issue to Benny's attention, says this is a long time coming.
As ComArt students, we rely on all the Adobe software to create our projects.
Zoe is just one of many who have been struggling to complete coursework without the tools available to them off campus.
I had a student, a classmate, who was in Denver for a week for a golf tournament. She had no access to Adobe software, so she had to be pushed behind, and thankfully her teacher gave her a deadline, but
this is one of 2 computer labs in the ComArts department that students have to use if they want to complete any schoolwork that requires the Adobe Suite. As you can see, there are plenty of desktops available, but that doesn't make it any more convenient for students who aren't on campus.
You only have a certain amount of hours that you can be here and use the lab, and it hinders your ability to do your work.
The legislation, which would direct money from the UIW Legacy Fund towards the Adobe subscriptions, has passed unanimously in the SGA and is now awaiting the signature of Dr. Evans. In the meantime, Benny has instated a thought box for ComArt students who have any other concerns. With UIWtv, I'm Joy Bergen.
Well, as a ComArts major myself, I can definitely appreciate that initiative. The 2021 recipient of the Ruth B. Freeman Award for Distinguished Service in Public Health was Dr. Linda Hook, a professor at UIW's Isla Faye Miller Nursing School. Dr. Hook cites her own mother's work as a nurse as her inspiration for pursuing public health. Congratulations.
The UIW medical students are once again stepping up to care for their community. Joy Bergen got to speak with some of their youngest patients.
This past weekend, UIW medical students of all departments joined together at the Fike School of Pharmacy to provide vaccines to children between the ages of 5 and 11. The shot, which consists of 1/3 the dose of an adult vaccine, was approved by the FDA for emergency use last week. While many have expressed concerns about the vaccine's effectiveness or potential side effects, Adrian Cortez, who's just received his shot, says he's not worried about any of that.
If you're scared of needles, that's one of the things that could be scary. Me particular, I am not.
The vaccines were administered by volunteer UIW medical students. One such student, Jacob Jones, says he's thankful for the opportunity.
And I think it's a good opportunity to kind of interact with people in the community in UIW and get to interact with the other professional school, like medical students.
Jacob and other medical students may have even inspired a future generation of medical professionals.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I think a doctor, maybe.
A doctor? So do you think you're going to be giving people shots one day?
Yes.
After receiving their shot, children were directed to a waiting room for 15 minutes to monitor any potential side effects. Adrian took this time to ruminate on what he plans to do with his newfound protection. The top of his list?
I love roller skating, and I've been waiting about 2 years, about 630 days to go roller skating.
Hopeful for a speedy end to this pandemic, I'm Joy Bergen with UIWtv.
We're glad to hear everyone is doing well after receiving their vaccine. It's good to know that our viewers have plenty of health options for their families, and as always, we're excited to have the option of getting to know our viewers a little better.
That's right. This brings us to today's social media question, which is, what is your favorite holiday meal? We'll get to those responses at the end of our newscast. Until then, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages with entertainment news.
Won't look good in any of this. Why do I have to look like this? I just can't focus on anything. If you are feeling alone or have self-deprecating thoughts, please reach out to a loved one because you are not alone.
You are watching UIWtv, the word on campus.
Thanks for sticking around. I'm Chloe Ippolito, and today we'll dive into all the arts and culture surrounding our Cardinal community. A piece of our community's culture can be seen at a local San Antonio hotspot, which is getting into the holiday spirit with a beautiful display. Maddie Valera has the story.
The Pearl has become a staple in the San Antonio city life. Locals and visitors can enjoy the Pearl for its gorgeous scenery and delicious restaurants. As one holiday approaches, the Pearl has a new exhibit lined with vibrant flowers, candles, and many other decorations. The altar encapsulates the eye. The lively altar was created by sisters Manola and Maria Ramirez of La Vaca Studios.
Looks like an average day here at the Pearl, but if we look to my left, there is this beautiful Dia de los Muertos altar.
The altar is meant to commemorate and remember members of the San Antonio community who have passed on. As people observe the altar and the holiday, many are left sentimental.
During this time of year, I love to remember those loved ones who have passed and celebrate their life versus being sad. It's a beautiful way to honor the dead.
Although Dia de los Muertos comes and goes each year, members of the community are devoted to remembering their family in a happy and positive light.
Wow, what a beautiful altar. Can't wait to see it return next year. Speaking of returning attractions, tomorrow the UIW Theater Arts Department will be performing their second production of the season, Little Women. I got a chance to get an inside scoop on the story.
Louisa May Alcott's classic coming-of-age drama shares the story of four sisters navigating their challenges of growing up and finding their own path.
I believe you should come see UIW's production of Little Women because it is heartwarming and a beautiful take on a classic.
I didn't know what to do. I put them down before her, feeling that...
Although performers will not be wearing masks on stage during the performance, they are still enforcing UIW safety protocols,
including a 50% capacity in our Coach Theater, which means patrons will be sitting every other seat, as well as requiring masks for everyone coming into the theater.
And now you can reserve your tickets either by phone or online.
All you have to do is Google UIW Theater box office, scroll down and click Purchase Tickets Online, which will then take you to CashNet. And remember, tickets for UIW faculty, staff, and students are free.
She doesn't look like my Beth, and there's nobody here to help us bear it.
UIW students cannot wait to see the show tomorrow night.
I'm excited to see Little Women because I'm really hyped for the costumes and like the scenery and also just the actors in general because I know they're going to do an amazing performance.
Performances will run from November 12th through the 15th and 17th through the 19th. For more information, you can call 210-829-3800. For UIWtv, I'm Chloe Ippolito.
We look forward to seeing all of the theater department's hard work. Another campus event seeks to honor other students' hard work. Next week, the second annual Communication Arts Showcase. Kat Delgado has more information about what we can expect.
The Communication Arts Department is getting ready to hold their second annual Com Arts Showcase,
where students enrolled in the department get together to show their work and talent.
This year, we're going at it from all aspects. So from new projects, new minds, new students, new everything, we're going at it with a bang. And we have to. We have to bring it this year.
The first showcase took place in spring of 2019, but because of the pandemic, the department showcase came to a halt.
What you can expect for the second annual CalmArt Showcase is, first of all, a great amount of students participating, displaying their art. Secondly, live music, especially from UIW alumni Breck Armstrong. And third, food, snacks, and just a great environment and great hospitality.
The second annual CalmArt Showcase will be taking place here in the SEC Ballroom November 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. With COVID regulations in place, the show at the SEC Ballroom will have a limited capacity. Students are encouraged to social distance and follow COVID protocols.
Students who are presenting, from photography to special effects makeup. People are going to be, of course, reading their poetry, their books. People who do film, they're also going to be implementing that as well. And we just want to showcase what the CalmArts department is about.
You can expect a full house of talented individuals like KUIW DJ Bowtie, along with students receiving production awards from the Lone Star Emmy Educational Foundation. For UIWtv, I'm Kat Delgadillo.
I can't wait for the showcase. I bet it's going to be a great night. Now it's time to hear from Jet with his review of a recent box office hit. Take it away, Jet.
What's up, Cardinals? I'm Jet Delgado, your host of The Final Cut, and this past weekend, I went to check out Marvel's new film, Eternals. The anticipation for this film was heavy for myself. I loved that Marvel was adding a completely new group of superheroes to the MCU. Director Chloe Zhao brings to life the story of Marvel's Eternals with a star-studded cast, ranging from Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Richard Madden, Brian Tyree Henry, and so many more. The acting range is definitely present in this motion picture. I was quite impressed with the visual effects of this film. The aesthetic look of the film's entirety truly shows that it's a big budget blockbuster, along with its very selective action-packed scenes. Now, believe it or not, here's my opinion of Eternals. The runtime of 2 hours and 37 minutes for the cinematic story really made me feel like I was in the theater for an eternity. Sadly, I do not mean that in a positive way. I just couldn't get myself to be invested in the storyline of Eternals. It dragged tremendously. For myself, I thought the best part of the film's entirety was the comedic relief. I think if that's the best aspect of an MCU film, then I believe they may have missed their mark on this one. The big issue I find to be problematic is the lack of Eternals intertwining with the MCU characters we already know and love. Although Eternals does mention Thanos and the infamous snap, that's about the only tie-in to our previous MCU world, prior to Endgame. Now, this may sound a bit contradicting, but I do appreciate that the film doesn't have a heavy reliance to the Marvel characters that we're already familiar with. The unity of both worlds coming together was just too minimal. I wouldn't say don't check out this movie, because I truly believe that every Marvel film should be viewed at least once, but I do think you wouldn't be at a total loss if you waited until the movie is available to stream on Disney+. If you're still persistent though on checking out this film to get that cinema feel, well then you can check out Marvel's Eternals exclusively in theaters everywhere now. Thanks so much for joining me here today. I'm Jet Delgado, and we'll catch you next time here on The Final Cut.
Thanks, Jet. I heard a mix of reviews for this film, so I guess the only way to find out is to give it a watch. That concludes our entertainment segment for this newscast. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, for UIWtv, I'm Chloe Ippolito. Don't go just yet. We'll be right back with sports news.
During any health crisis, self-isolation is necessary to separate oneself from others to flatten the curve by stopping the spread of any infectious disease. During your self-isolation, you should try some activities to continue your active state of mind. They can include writing a letter to a friend, binge watching a new TV series, or FaceTiming with your friends or family members at any time. If you are feeling that you are developing a wide range of emotions that is affecting your mood, thinking, or behavior, connect with the crisis counselor during any crisis or during your self-isolation. Text the National Crisis Text Line. Text HOME to 741-741 or call the Bexar County Crisis Line at 210-223-7233. Create a plan, find support, and stay informed.
Welcome back, Cardinals. I'm Maria Castillo, here to bring you up to speed on the latest sports action from our Cardinals. We begin by congratulating our women's soccer team for making program history this past weekend in the Southland Conference Tournament. The Cardinals played in their first ever Division I Conference Finals on Sunday against Northwestern State. It was a hard-fought game by the Cardinals, but unfortunately fell short in a 1-0 loss against the Lady Demons. Despite the loss, UIW left the field with their best season yet, 3 of their players being selected for Conference All-Tournament teams and 6 of the All-Conference teams. While our women's soccer was making our school proud on Saturday, UIW football faced off against number 9 ranked Southeastern Louisiana at home. The Cardinal offensive led by program record performance by quarterback Cameron Ward put up 55 points on the scoreboard against the Lions 52. Also on Sunday, UIW's volleyball won a 5-set thriller against Southeastern Louisiana. Closing out that day, the men's soccer team played their last game of the season against UTRGV. Unfortunately, the Cardinals fell short on the 2-1 loss at home. There was plenty of action from our Cardinals this past weekend. Basketball returned to the McDermott Center this week. Our reporter Angelo Mincho had the opportunity to visit with our men's basketball team.
The University of the Incarnate Word's men's basketball season started November 9th against Texas State right here at the Convocation Center. Before the game, I got to visit with the team, and the team has high hopes for this campaign. Team captain, junior guard Drew Lutz, gives us his expectations.
My expectations for us is to make the March Madness tournament. I think we have enough talent around us to be able to do that. We've been getting better every year, and I think this is our year.
The other team captain, redshirt junior guard Brandon Swavey, tells us what it means to him to be voted team captain.
It means everything to me. It's a real blessing to, lead my team, and I'm gonna do what it takes to, be the best captain there is.
When considering motivational themes for the season, head coach Dr. Carson Cunningham likes the theme I suggested.
Well, we're gonna get after it. We're gonna work really hard. And I like your emphasis here on a breakout campaign. The biggest thing is we want to embrace the 5 Gs, work really hard, get better as a team, and make some noise in the Southland Conference.
Coach Cunningham would like to give you his expectations of how you will see his team perform.
I encourage you to come out and cheer us on and get fired up. Our team is playing with high energy. I think they're going to be really fun to watch. The Southland is going to be ultra competitive. Anybody can get it. And we would love to have your support.
I'm Angelo Mitchell with UIWtv.
Thank you, Angelo. The Cardinals now look to shake off their 57-75 loss against the Bobcats as they play the reigning champions, the Baylor Bears, tomorrow. Don't forget, you can follow the team's season by visiting UIW Athletics' website. 2 weeks ago, UIW's men's and women's cross-country teams made their presence felt in the Southland Conference Championships. Abby Gray led the women's team after finishing first overall in the women's 6K. She was also named Newcomer of the Year and Athlete of the Year and was selected in the all-conference first team. The men's side was led by Armando Villarreal, who placed 8th overall in the men's 8K. He was also selected in the all-conference second team. Congratulations to these athletes who will be representing UIW this weekend in the NCAA South Central Regional Meet. Speaking of championships, our volleyball team is preparing to play their last game of the regular season. Zoe Del Rosario had the chance to check in with them.
UIW's women's volleyball is closing out their regular season with the most wins since Coach Dabbs took over the program in 2018.
Definitely a great accomplishment. We still have a lot more work to do and a lot more things to prove here, but it is, humbling, but it's also exciting at the same time to know that we've done something, that we haven't done since 2016, which is exciting.
One of the team's strengths this season has been their offense, led by senior Bethany Clapp, who reached the 1,000 kills career milestone back in September.
It's been really awesome because I came in as one of Sam's first recruits and she's been trying to build a program. So it's really nice to see a lot of my hard work pay off and just finally reach that milestone. Just really cool.
Even though the Cardinals achieved important wins in the season, they also faced tough losses, leading them to drop to mid-level in the conference standings.
That's been one of the biggest challenges, is just making sure that we are all 18 as a unit on the same page with the scouting report, and then also showing up ready to compete because people are going to come and play their best volleyball against us every night.
The team can certainly rely on the leadership and experience of their seniors as they head into their last regular season game and the conference tournament.
Going into the tournament, I want everyone to just give their all, and we're trying to play our best volleyball in November. That's what we always say. So I just want us to go out there and give it our all.
A lot is at stake for the Cardinals in the closing stage of the season, but they have a group of talented athletes that can lead the team to major wins. For UIWtv, I'm Zoe Del Rosario.
Thanks, Zoe. Cardinals, be sure to support our volleyball games as they get ready to play in the conference tournament. Now it's time to turn our attention to all the games in store for the weekend. Women's basketball starts off their season on the road tonight against UTEP at 8 p.m. Men's basketball will match up against Baylor, the reigning champions, on the road this weekend at 7:30 p.m. Lastly, football travels to Louisiana to face off against Nicholls State on Saturday at 3 p.m. Cardinals, remember to go out there and cheer for our wonderful student athletes. Well, that concludes our sports segment for today. For UIWtv, I am Maria Castillo. So, Gabby, should we check back in with those social media responses?
Thanks, Maria. Yeah, we've got some interesting replies from our viewers. We asked, what is your favorite holiday meal? Here are some of our responses. Tana Ramos says, tamales and champurrado. Evelyn Torres said, sweet potato empanadas. And Catherine Dunnigan said, mashed potatoes. Thank you all so much for all those great responses.
Well, that's it. Thank you all for joining us on our 4th newscast of the semester. I'm Savannah Studevos.
And I'm Gabrielle Yanez.
Thank you again to all the veterans out there for your service. Until next time, this has been UIWtv, the word on campus.